Okay, in this lesson I'm going to teach you the 5 positions of the blues scale. We're going to be working in G blues for these examples. So first of all, let's have a look at position 1. If I just play the shape through first to give you an idea of the sound. So. Okay, so that's like the sound of the blues scale. So let's have a closer look at position 1. So we start on the 3rd fret of the 6th string with the first finger, and that's followed by the little finger on the 6th fret. So those are your first 2 notes. Okay, on the 5th string we've got first finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd finger on the 4th, and 3rd finger on the 5th. So. Okay, and then on the 4th string we've got first finger on the 3rd fret, and 3rd finger on the 5th fret. And onto the 3rd string, first finger again on the 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the 5th, and then little finger on the 6th. So let's just go from the top. Okay, and then onto the 2nd string, we've got first finger on the 3rd again, little finger on the 6th, and that shape's repeated on the top string. Okay, so I'll play that shape all the way through. Okay, so that's position 1, and the root note for position 1 is on that 3rd fret of the 6th string, so that's the G root note, and that's repeated on the 5th fret of the 4th string, and the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Okay, so those are the G root notes in that. Okay, so moving on to position 2 now. So this one starts on the 6th fret of the 6th string, so with the first finger, okay, and then 3rd finger on the 8th fret, and little finger on the 9th fret. So those are your first 3 notes. Then when we get to the 5th string, the first finger steps back onto the 5th fret, and then little finger on the 8th fret, and that's repeated on the 4th string as well. So from the top we've got. Okay, and then onto the 3rd string we've got first finger on the 5th fret, 2nd finger on the 6th, and 3rd finger on the 7th. And onto the 2nd string the first finger moves up to the 6th fret again. We've got first finger there and then 3rd finger on the 8th fret. So just those 2 notes on that string. Okay, and then finishing off on the top string, first finger on the 6th fret, 3rd finger on the 8th, and little finger on the 9th. So I'll play that through slowly from the top. Okay, and that's position 2. And position 2's got root notes on that 5th fret of the 4th string, and that note's repeated on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. So those are the G's in that position. Okay, and then position 3 starts first finger on the 8th fret. The first 3 notes we got that note, 2nd finger on the 9th, and 3rd finger on the 10th. Okay, on the 5th string we've got first finger on the 8th, followed by 3rd finger on the 10th. And on the 4th string we've got first finger on the 8th, 3rd finger on the 10th, and little finger on the 11th. So let's go from the top. Okay, so when we get to the 3rd string, the first finger steps back onto that 7th fret, and little finger goes to the 10th fret. Okay, so those 2 notes. And onto the 2nd string, first finger moves back up to that 8th fret, and then that note's followed by little finger on the 11th fret. Okay, and then the last 3 notes on the top string, we've got first finger on the 8th, 2nd finger on the 9th, and 3rd finger on the 10th. Okay, so I'll just play that scale all the way from the top. that's position 3, and position 3's got root notes on that 10th fret of the 5th string and on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. So there's your G's. Okay, then moving on to position 4 now. So this one starts on the 10th fret of the 6th string with the first finger. Okay, and that note's followed by the little finger on the 13th fret, and that shape's repeated on the 5th string as well. Okay, and onto the 4th string, we've got first finger on the 10th fret, that's followed by second finger on the 11th, then third finger on the 12th. Okay, and on the 3rd string, first finger on the 10th, and third finger on the 12th. So just go from the top. Okay, and when we get to the 2nd string, the first finger moves up to that 11th fret, then third finger to the 13th, and little finger on the 14th. And on the top string, the first finger moves back to the 10th fret, and then finish with the little finger on the 13th fret. Okay, so I'll just play that from the top. Okay, and that's position 4, and position 4's got root notes on the 10th fret of the 5th string, that's G, and then that G's repeated on the 12th fret of the 3rd string. So there's your root notes. Always try and keep track of where the root notes are in each shape you're learning, because they're movable shapes, so what scale you're playing actually depends on where you're playing it on the neck and what that root note is. Okay, so finishing off now with position 5. So this one starts on fret 13 with the first finger, and then to the 3rd finger on the 15th fret. Okay, now onto the 5th string, we've got first finger on the 13th, 3rd finger on the 15th, and little finger on the 16th. Okay, and then on the 4th string, first finger steps back to the 12th fret, then little finger on the 15th fret, and that's repeated on the 3rd string as well. Okay, then onto the 2nd string, the 2nd finger plays the 13th fret on the 2nd, 3rd finger on the 14th, and little finger on the 15th, then finishing on the top string with 2nd finger on the 13th, and last note little finger on the 15th. So let's just play that from the top. So. Okay, if you notice with that, when I was playing it, I actually changed the fingering a little bit on that top. I was actually using the 1st, 2nd and 3rd on that 2nd string and finishing with the 1st and 3rd string. You can actually do that as well if you want. So you can either go 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, or you can do this 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'll leave that up to you. Okay, so those are your 5 different positions of the blues scale, and they're very useful scales, used a lot in blues rock and pop, that kind of thing. So have a play around with those. If you visit my website www.phillewisguitar.com, you can print off a printable resource sheet with all these shapes on. Okay, if you click on the link below in the text, it will take you straight to my site with those downloads. Okay, so yeah, enjoy those, and I'll see you soon.